Hello, my name is Heinz-Bernd Eggenstein and George Silvis, and I prepared this little lightning talk to advocate that the amateur astronomy community should actively prepare for the next galactic supernova. So there are several types of supernova, and for this talk we will only talk about core collapse supernova, which will happen at the end of the life of rather massive stars. And only a few historic observations of core collapse supernova in our own galaxy are known so far. But still, we estimate that they happen at a rate of a few per century, which means that you cannot be sure to live long enough to witness one. But at that rate, it's also not very unlikely that you will. But if you miss the next one, you might not get a chance to observe another one. So this is the timeline of events to happen. After burning for millions and millions of years, the progenitor star may or may not give precursor signals like dimming and outbreaks that there is a supernova imminent. But it may not happen. So maybe the first signal we will get is a neutrino burst, which happens at the moment the core collapses. And it can last for a few seconds, but if it happens in our own galaxy, it will be detected on Earth. So we get early warning and can prepare for the optical signal to appear. Because it actually takes time for the physical effects of the core collapse to propagate outwards. And then finally reach the surface and break out, so to speak. And this delay can take minutes, it can take days, but eventually we will see this shock breakout. And that is a rapidly rising flash of light. It can take seconds to hours. But this is the scientifically most interesting part of it, probably, because the delay time between the neutrino burst and the shock breakout, and the shock breakout's duration and light curve, that will allow us to test our understanding of the progenitor star's internal composition and our understanding of the supernova explosion mechanism. So after that, you will have a month of time to observe the remaining supernova light curve, but that is not the main part. The more interesting event that you don't want to miss is the shock breakout. So you can get an instant notification about a neutrino burst from the supernova early warning system, the same way professional astronomers will get it. You can get it by email, you can get it via NASA's GCN system, and soon there will be a smartphone app. Initially, the alert will not tell you where in the sky to look. It will just tell you it happened. But hopefully via triangulation from different detectors, you will then get a rough direction in the sky where to look. Now, what we also at the AAVSO maintain is a list of potential progenitor stars for the next galactic core collapse supernova. And that has two reasons. First, we want to keep their light curves up to date so that if one of them goes supernova, we can then look into the then historic light curves for precursor events. But also, once we get an idea where to look in the sky, we will probably want to see, and we can then do that via a webpage of the AAVSO and an API that we will develop, whether there are some of our candidate stars in that direction. Now, we cannot be sure it will be one of those candidate stars to go supernova. So it will be an all hands on deck, everything but the kitchen sink type of effort to make sure we catch this shock breakout event. And because it's so rare and so important, we should throw everything that we have on it, from all-sky cameras to DSLRs and telescopes of all sizes. What we can already do now is I would suggest that every amateur astronomer subscribes to the snooze alert mailing list. The URL is given here, but please also spread the message so that we can recruit as many observers as possible to cover the northern hemisphere, the southern hemisphere, all of the time zones to get a good chance to catch this event. There will also be a snooze webinar on the AAVSO's YouTube channel. If it's not already there, it will be soon. All of you are invited to visit the High Energy Network Observer section forum at the AAVSO, where we want to discuss things like preparing tutorials for observation techniques for this type of event, and maybe also fire drill events where we can practice this. And keep your equipment ready, of course, and be prepared. You will find more details in the paper, in the proceedings. I hope there's still time for some questions, but for now, thank you for your attention.